to do a somersault.
Well, it's downhill from here.
You ever have one of those days where you just want a heavy dose of random? Sonic Adventure 2 Randomizer is a mod for SA2 on PC that delivers that by randomizing all of the cutscene and level orders, music, characters, and voice clips to create something truly chaotic. A few weeks ago, I recorded an hour of a story with the intent of analyzing it and figuring out what the narrative is. So, without further ado, here's one of possibly millions of seeds of SA2 Rando. The game begins one fine morning in space as Knuckles and Rouge are about to fight. Ow! And Knuckles breaks his legs. Great start, game. They fight for a while, I accidentally died, and apparently Rouge is now Sonic. Okay then. Then all of a sudden they're bickering over the Master Emerald. So what on earth were they fighting for in the first place? As Sonic alludes to the action, Knuckles simply replies, Eggman then storms the scene and swipes the Master Emerald, calling on Sonic to come and save the Emerald's life. Knuckles attempts to stop Eggman as his broken legs make splashing noises as he jumps. He is not okay, he needs to go see a doctor. Eggman then takes a moment to hop on the phone with the president and wonders why the two look alike. I'm pretty sure the president of the United States doesn't even look close to this. Shadow suddenly appears watching Tails fly by in a tornado. And apparently he's been trapped by the tornado.
Stop it! Let me go!
Then all of a sudden we're inside Eggman's pyramid base, as Sonic, the real Sonic, and his gang all make their way through to find Eggman complimenting them on their progress, okay? Then Sonic introduces himself as Tails? Well, then who is this then? Shortfuse the Cybernick? So then the egg golem comes out, which is apparently what Tails has been looking for. As the two stare each other down, with Tails' eyes disappearing in this shot, Tails lands a hit on the golem, causing it to spin out of control. Eggman is then forced to remind the golem how to use the Y button, as well as using enemies to get to higher places. Of course, the golem doesn't take too kindly to those remarks and takes action. While that happened, Tails then finds his way through Crazy Gadget, and those tubes must be a little tight for him. Sheesh, there's a lot of cursing for this early on in this game. Also, for some reason, the electronic equipment in this level sounds an awful lot like a Japanese soap opera. Apparently, the level was a nightmare for Tails, because at the end of the level, Crazy Gadget also seems to be a gateway to the core of the Ark, as Tails and Knuckles are now there. Knuckles takes the Master Emerald and attempts to move the Ark somewhere else, and then he proclaims a death sentence on Earth? What the Ark? Suddenly from behind the heroes, a disgruntled bio-lizard complains about how much he hates driving, and then Chaos controls out of the room after yelling at the heroes to stop it. Then Knuckles celebrates that he defeated Sonic? In a time of crisis, Shadow reminds everyone not to make any mistakes. Knuckles then decides that now, in their time of peril, is the perfect moment to remind Sonic how to use the light attack. Tails and Shadow then transform into Super Tails and Super Shadow. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the Ark, another fight occurs between the Chow Walker and Dr. Eggman.
My name is Miles Prowler, but everyone calls me Tails.
Wait, now you're Tails? I thought this was Tails. And before that, I thought this was Tails. Game, make up your mind here. Well, the Chow Walker and Tails fight, with Tails letting out a pretty loud cuss at the Walker. Sheesh, everyone's got a potty mouth in this game. Well, that was uneventful. While all that's happening, we see Amy in her Sonic Riders outfit running through Cannon's core. Unfortunately, she died after clipping through the floor. A true Hedgehog hero that will be remembered for the ages. The end is what I would be saying if the story was actually over. Because I absolutely hate Cannon's core as a level, and because my jaw dropped as I clipped through the floor, I simply skipped to the next cutscene. And I guess Amy hated that level as much as I did, because... Good lord, let's slap a PG-13 rating on this story. There's way too much profanity here.
What special actions?
I don't know, how about the special action of telling a cohesive story? Shadow is apparently watching an invisible puppet show because he yells at Shadow and Rouge to continue on with the show, with Amy simply responding that he's doing well, and that even though the can's about to fire, there aren't any problems. Shadow suddenly remembers that Maria's name is on the list of those who died during the shutdown of the Ark. In a flashback, Maria reminds him to press the A button to jump from rail to rail. Alright, this is getting nonsensical. I can't make sense of what happened so far, but goodness knows I'll try. Shadow then teaches Amy how to use the pause menu before running off. Meanwhile, at the core, again, Knuckles is suddenly reminded that his legs are broken. Sonic thinks there's a useful level up at the core, so the two run toward it. Then we see a message of Gerald Robotnik telling everyone that Knuckles and Rouge are great climbers. Okay then? The Bio-Lizard then tells everyone how to use the somersault. Then...
This is Rouge.
Wait, I thought you were Knuckles! Shadow, who just arrived on the scene, screams in terror at the sight of the Bio-Lizard, but as he begins to approach it, he calls Sonic a thief. Okay. Suddenly, everyone's back inside the pyramid base, as no one can seem to let anyone else talk first. I can't understand any of this babble. They're all interrupted though, as Eggman's Hoagie from lunch has a bone to pick with him. I know that's supposed to be King Boom Boo's roar, but I honestly heard it more as a colossal burp in this context than anything else. Then there's a whole bunch of bickering about Chow, then the dialogue falls completely apart. There's nothing to dissect here, it's all just nonsensical crap, besides Tails calling Eggman Shadow and telling him to come back to Earth. But I thought they were already on Earth. Is the pyramid base now in space? Game, explain. No, not game explain. I'm sure they have more important things to dissect. The egg golem then comes back again to ask what kind of TV Sonic has. Or is it asking what kind of TV I have? It's an LG, not sure what size, but it displays 1080p and has a tendency to randomly turn off while I'm playing video games. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic fights Flying Dog. Okay then, so now I have to account for a Metal Sonic subplot? Where did he come from? Is he breaking out of Prison Island? Was he the one arrested for the Chaos Emerald theft? Has that even happened in this story? What's going on here? And while that's going on, Shadow is fighting the egg golem. That thing will just not stay down. Afterwards, Shadow, the real one, tells a nearby exploding capsule to show its true power. Then Sonic freaks out that 6 of the 7 Chaos Emeralds are together in one place. Does she have a phobia for Chaos Emeralds or something? Shadow suddenly barges in with the intent of saving the Master Emerald. Sonic replies that he won't be so lucky, to which... Alright, any more cussing and I'm gonna have to put an R rating on this instead of PG-13. Sonic needs to run off before the bomb goes off. Then in regard to an emblem count, Sonic attempts to handcuff Shadow? That escalated... actually not that quickly. Shadow then gets a comlink reminding him of how the Ark was shut down 50 years ago. Afterwards, Shadow warns Sonic to stay away from the shadow of the trap, and Sonic reminds him that people are basically good. And apparently Shadow's Chow evolved into a Dark Chow during this whole thing. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Movie Sonic is fighting Bigfoot. Oh great, now I need a subplot for Movie Sonic? While that's happening, Shadow and Shadow are having a conversation when...
I'm Sonic the Hedgehog!
So now you're Sonic? I'm starting to lose track of who is who, so let me get this straight. This is Tails, this is Tails, this is Rouge, this is Shadow, this is Sonic, and this is Sonic. Alright, now that I have this all straight for now, let's move on. Shadow yells at Sonic to get his hands off of him, and Sonic responds by yelling at him about listening to music. Oh, lay off, guys, sheesh.
These hints make no sense.
Nothing makes sense in this story. Now we're back at the desert again? So the Master Emerald was shattered and rebuilt only for it to be shattered again? Even Sonic realizes they're doing it again. Now with more profanity. Sonic is basically begging for the two to chase after him, with Rouge threatening to take Sonic's life? That took a dark turn. With Sonic cussing at Rouge over the whole ordeal happening again, Sonic runs off, realizing his computer console is password protected and he left the sticky note with the password on his desk at Prison Island. Sonic seems to be in a cussing frenzy at the end though. At Prison Island, Sonic barges in and recalls the legend of Chaos Emeralds before asking the computer if he's annoying it. Sonic screams as he enters the password and inserts his emerald. This ended up waking Shadow up from a long-needed nap, with Sonic feeling some strange energy. Shadow comments that it feels good floating, then burps from the burger he had before taking a nap. After yelling in the air at how unfair Eggman is, he teleports off. Meanwhile, Sonic visits Pumpkin Hill to once again look for the pieces of the Master Emerald. And while that's happening, Tails and Sonic just wrapped up a battle? Sonic congratulates Tails on the victory, then Amy runs in warning Tails about a strong-looking fighter and complaining about gravity switches. Tails gets a cramp, then...
I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Oh, not another Sonic. How many Sonics are there now? Meanwhile, Tails and Shadow just finished playing a game of tag, but Tails complains that it's boring, so Tails resorts to insanity. Shadow runs off before the robot gets him, leaving Tails to get arrested. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic fights the Egg Golem. Again? Firstly, how many times does this stupid golem keep coming back? And secondly, is Metal Sonic infiltrating Eggman's base of his own accord? I'm very confused. And while that's happening, Tails is stuck in jail. Chow World's jail, I assume, because of the music. Sonic jumps in to rescue him, but ends up breaking her legs too. Can't imagine what that hospital bill would look like.
I'm Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
We know that already. Yep, this story's rated R now. Watch at your own risk. Sonic and friends are swearing up a storm. Sonic claims she found a key in a dead end. You mean like this dead end? And lets Tails out, who claims it's perfect. That works.
My name is Miles Proud.
I thought you were Sonic!
This is a death sentence for every human being on Earth.
Wow, everybody wants humanity dead. Coming up soon on Game Theory, Eggman is the good guy? Now we're infiltrating the Pyramid Cave again?
Tails and Amy are in danger.
I don't know, I can see him just fine here. Apparently Sonic's grandfather was doing experiments here, so that's why they're here. Sonic compliments the music, while Tails cusses Rouge out for making so much as a statement. Now Sonic is invading the weapons bed. Okay. Tails then goes back to the city and makes a wish for Shadow to play tag with him again. Shadow teaches him how to use the homing attack and how to use rockets, while Tails affirms his advice. Tails reaffirms that he won the game of tag earlier, while Shadow gives Tails a chaos control. After that,
That's all.
Shadow spouts some wisdom before leaving again, then he decides he wants to be a Chow. Tails is arrested once again, while Rouge and Sonic fight over the Emerald again? You know what, I'm not even gonna cover this. Except this one scene.
It turns enemies into balls.
You guys are funny looking.
Anyway, Sonic then travels through Metal Harbor and accidentally launches a missile. I hope they know where it's headed so they can evacuate the area. Meanwhile, Sonic is in the Ark's control room.
My name is Amy Rose.
Meanwhile, Amy is in the Ark's control room when his computer, thinking it's a small oasis, projects a video of Gerald causing Amy to curse again. Rouge and Tails wonder where the rest of the rings are as Sonic comes in to tell them about the health gauge. Rouge cries for Maria as Sonic goes into a brief lecture about the space colony's history. Sonic then tries to steal something from the group, but then freaks out when Gerald's video appears on screen. The military tells him that they have the other researchers on radar. Then Gerald tells everyone they're gonna die. He then goes completely insane. And then...
I'm Sonic!
Oh, come on! Sonic does a chaos control as Amy appears to teach Rouge how to use the sunglasses. Rouge plans to go try it out while Tails tells Amy to throw a switch, to which Amy tells him he has no chance against him. After Tails tells Amy that the switch is for time suspension, Sonic mistakes Amy for the president as Amy reminds everyone that there's nowhere to land in space. Sonic inserts a keycard into the machine, which is Sonic's journal, which apparently has battle tips against Sonic? Someone interrupts Sonic and comments about how the core looks like the Shrine of the Master Emerald, while Sonic goes on about how he met Eggman who was chasing Amy.
Am I annoying you?
Honestly, yes, this story just completely fell apart at the seams. You know what, that's it, I'm done. There's no more substance to this story. All I can gather is that Eggman is the good guy, and Tails, Sonic, Rouge, and Sonic are all plotting to destroy humanity. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic and Movie Sonic are wrecking Eggman's machines for no good reason. Amy is simply trying to live his best life with his best friend the President, and Sonic has schizophrenia because she can never decide what she wants. The Master Emerald shatters 3 times with no sign of Angel Island ever falling, and every single character in this story has watched too much Adult Swim. Okay, if you didn't quite understand what was going on, that's okay. This kind of thing isn't meant to be taken seriously. I was simply trying to analyze what I could out of something that wasn't supposed to be cohesive at all. Everyone was Sonic at some point, storyline pieces repeat each other, and all sorts of crap goes down. Heck, Movie Sonic only appears once, and Metal Sonic had no bearing on the plot whatsoever. As crazy as it ended up getting, and as confusing as it was to put everything together, I had a good time here. As I was playing, I couldn't stop laughing at what was going on, thinking about the kinds of jokes or descriptions I'd end up having to write for this video. Go try SA2 Rando, it's hilarious, and you never get the same story twice. Ever. Thanks for watching through to the end, and don't try this at home, please. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a like in the comment below, and if you want to see more content, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new videos. I'll try to keep things as updated as possible during these times. I mean, I know everyone's stuck in quarantine because of the coronavirus, but what can you do? Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye!